So we have ended our 2053 season, our first season back in the top flight of Norwegian football, our first full season as manager. And there's a lot of reviewing to do. The last game of the season meant absolutely nothing, so we're going to dump off a live com in exchange for statistical reviewing, because who doesn't love looking at all the stats of the season? Now, my question of the day is, for Football Manager 2025 beta, or early release, early access I think it's called now, is there any mini 2-season, 3-season saves you'd like me to do? A giant of European football, the MLS, Australia, what would you like to see? Make sure you do go down in the comments and give your opinion. It's very welcome, but also the comments do boost the YouTube algorithm, and that's the reason for a question of the day, to be honest with you, and that is what I am, honest with you. Hopefully you're enjoying the content. Let's get into the actual episode. So first off, we are going to recap the end of the season. Let me tell you that we have had a run of form, a record that I've not had in FM24 in a long time, and it's been a struggle, it's been a battle. It's opened my eyes about some of the players, it's opened my eyes about the formations, it's opened my eyes about a lot of things. So Valerenga was the first game, and we got 3-2 victory with Finchy, C and Fremstad on the score sheet. Fremstad is the young non-contracted player we've had to use due to some injuries. 7 appearances for the first team this year, without a single contract. He has been sniffed around by the likes of Hamcam, but he hasn't gone yet. Then we lost to Odds and Berda Glimt to end September. In October, we picked up 2 points. A draw against Sterdals Blink, K on the score sheet. Defeat to Molde with Finch again the goal, and a defeat to Hamcam, before we ended the month with a 0-0 against Lillestrøm, which I've got to be honest, I was kind of pleased with. And then we moved into November, where we did pick up 2 wins and 2 defeats. So we lost away to Stabæk before 2-0 victory over Kongsvinger with Bjørg Olsen and Janssen on the score sheet. We then beat Egerson with Janssen again scoring, and Dahl, Janssen against his old club. But we've just ended the season with a 3-1, a 1-3 defeat at home to Viking, and Bjørg Olsen on the score sheet. So we end up finishing the season sitting in 9th place. So just under mid-table, 8th is mid-table, and 9th place, 42 points, won 12, drew 6, lost 12 with a -2 goal difference. Now we did finish 22 points clear of the place where they wanted us to finish, so I have to take some positives about the fact that we finished so far clear, but we have to also look at the negatives of the fact that we lost way too many games throughout the season that's just happened. Now, in terms of the detail side of things, then we did end with our 1.12 wage expenditure. We have a 1.97 from Mulkis, so they've dropped a little bit, and with Lillestrøm spending 45 million. Now, we came 9th, so in 10th place was Egerson, who spent 21 million. And the next below us was Stjørdals Blink at a 3.82. We are spending significantly less than anybody else in the league, and we did finish basically mid-table, 9th place. I would say 7th to 12th is mid-table. I would class as mid-table. So, whilst we've not been amazing, I have to look at the positives and say that we've done okay, considering how young our squad is. Is there a way to see the average age of the squad? That's something I'm curious about. I found it. Okay, so the average age of our squad is 21, with the average in the league 27. So, yeah, I think sometimes you gotta look at that kind of thing and almost hold your hands up. So, if I ignore all of the stuff below the webcam, because nothing's really there to be used. So the highest cap player in our squad is 2 caps for C, who's picked them both up this year. Average wage of £712 a week, where the league average is £7,000 a week. So fair play there. Lowest earner is our right back on 0. Top earner for us is 1.6k for C. Valentine is on 88k at Egerton. Average weight is 76 kilograms. The league average 75. Heaviest player is Finchy at 88 kilograms. So if Finchy could please go on a diet, it would very much help us drop that down. Average height is 6 foot. So I do like the fact we do have quite a tall team. We have 2 players who are 6'5", with the tallest player being 6'7", who is a central defender for Ulkissa. Wouldn't mind bringing him in. 6'7". Wow. Shortest player is 5'2" from Egerton. Our shortest is 5'7". Oldest player is 29. Our youngest player is 16, which is Trosseth, who just wow. He's only 16. He's only going to develop and get better. And for once on a live com, we don't just look at downs. We actually have some positive attributes changing. So we're going to recap how the rest of the teams have done before we go into the stats of the first team and actually look at the formation, the stats, and see what we actually need to strengthen during the winter. So first off, our B team, sadly, but not the worst thing, has been relegated. We're not in the position to balance and fund a B team at the minute. So dropping back down to the 4th team might give some of our youngsters a chance. So our youngsters won the league title with 38 wins out of 38 games. Unfortunately, losing in the final to get qualified or promoted to the top flight. So we will stay in this local division after a 2-0 defeat to Hood. So at this point there, Hood, Hunterforce, Ulkis and Kongsvinger are going up with Start, Sandershofen, Todden and us staying in our respective local divisions. Now you can see here, so Shanker ended up with 49 goals in the league, 59 in all competitions. I think he's probably going to stay playing our youth team next season. Now he's agreed a new contract for next season. I wanted to make sure we held on to him. He's going to train as a full-time professional next year. Sachin Diaz picked up 27 goals and 30 assists. It doesn't even look an absolute world beater, but is performing very, very nicely. He's not contracted. I don't think I'll contract him because, again, we're just trying to balance the books. I mean, financially, we have less than $1 million in the bank. We've just got all of our money for the league finish, etc. So we're 2.4 million up this season, 1 million up the season before. But we're not a very rich club. Now, we have been given 1.45 million for next season, spent with 56 wage budget, currently spend 24. I don't have much faith in that. We are projected to be down in negative 1.79 million by the end of next year. So, if we are signing some people over the winter, that's probably only going to come in terms of spending money if we bring in some sales, in my opinion. We're not quite in a position to spend, I don't think. In terms of sponsorship, we do have about 8 million coming in. You can see here. And we do have another year. Oh no, it runs out on the 1st of the 1st. I've just realised there, that's 8 million over the time. So that one runs out. So we'll be interested to see if that renews into what. And we're bringing in about $1 million a year at the minute. I would like a massive improvement on there. You can see this one runs out as well. This one has another year left. So we've got 2 sponsorships are going to renew, hopefully for more money. I'll be a little bit concerned if not. I'll be concerned if our sponsorship drops massively, so we will keep a very close eye on that. And we also have obviously our debts, how we pay now. We're paying 86k a month, so it's just under, actually it's just over $1 million a year. So yeah, not the best. So the basics of the stats then we're going to look at is Finchy finished top goal scorer with 11 goals. So fair play to him. He is improving nicely as well. Still lacking the pace. I would like to see that improve. And Torreson finished second with 8 goals from the left wing. He also is developing fairly well. Third top goal scorer was Seam, who picked up 5. He did have a long-term injury, so he missed quite a lot of the second half of the season. But 2 starts, 10 sub appearances. But I do think going in next season he could develop into a decent player. In terms of assists then, Torreson topped out with 11. Then Osuma C finished runner-up with his 4 assists in the league, 6 in all competitions. Now he's valued up to 3.3 million. And that is the type of player that I might consider moving on over the winter, because he could fund 3 or 4 players coming in. And it is an option, but at the same time, I do think he could develop even more over the winter, and him, Tollefson and Finch as a front three could just get better and better, which I would like to see happen. On to team analysis then. So first off, mistakes leading to goals. We only had one all season, and it was from one of our Patreon members, sorry, our YouTube members. Now, you can go below where you have the subscribe button. If you watch all of my content, there is an option to click join, and that will make you a monthly subscription. It's less than the price of a cup of coffee, and it just shows a bit of extra support to the channel. Does help fund new things like the new microphone I need soon. This microphone now is 9 years old, and sometimes it does struggle to turn itself on. So that kind of thing, I'm putting away the monthly income from YouTube to fund next. So yeah, only one mistake leading to a goal in the whole season. So that is something we don't need to worry about. Interceptions per 90 minutes. Top in that was Fremstad. He had a really good end to the season, to be honest with you. He is certainly someone who we might actually give a contract to. Valerenga are interested in him. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go straight in. We're going to negotiate a very cheap contract just to secure him at the club. Remove that. We don't offer that. Would you take 250 if I give you just a little bit of extra hundreds of pounds here and there? Yes, he would. Okay, so he is secured, so we can move on. So Pereira picked up 2.53 interceptions per 90 minutes. Now, he plays in defensive midfield, and that's nice to see that he is intercepting. Left back Dahl picking up as well. A very solid left back. Really like him. Came through the academy. 22 years old, and he is just a very solid left back in this squad at this time. And Nordland is one of the players who I'm unsure about. Physically very lacking. I have been retrained as central defender, which is a bit of a shock when he has 4 for jump reach. But we were short of people. We had some really big injury crisis near the end of the season. Martina we will look at, but I do think he's moving on, and I don't think we'll be signing him. We have a couple of youngsters who can play in that defensive mid, and he's not been fantastic. A 6.8 in the league has me worrying about his long-term potential. Now, Henriksen is with us for another 12 months, so we're definitely going to be keeping him around. The only issue I've got is he's very high earner, 2.3k a week, well above our average. Now, has he justified it with his 4 assists this season, 6.88 average, 81% pass completion, 76% tackles, 1 completion. He is an option without a shadow of a doubt. So let's remove that. And let's just put in his appearances for us. So, let's work our way through, shall we? Distance covered at 13.3 per 90. Shots blocked at 2. Key headers per 90 minutes at 0.92. Headers 169%. Tackles 175%. Okay. Interceptions of 49. And pass completion rate of 81% is quite nice. Clearances of 41%. Possession won at 25. Possession lost also 25, which is a bit concerning, with 1.62 dribbles per 90. He has a 40% cross completion rate. This possession lost is a bit concerning. What? Out of curiosity. Let's just compare him to Dahl, who's our other main fullback. Possession lost. He's at 26.74. Let's compare him to Fremstad, who has been playing in replacement for him. So in the league, he's losing about 15 a game. Okay. He has a better tackles won ratio, but a worse pass completion. Same cross completion of 14%. Is Henriksen justifying 2.3k a week? I don't think so. And there is a potential, because we can recall him, we can remove him, sorry. There is a potential I'll just send him back. If we can replace him, that's a question. I'll have to have a look. So, pressures completed per 90 minutes. So this is when we are closing down and actually winning the ball back. Janssen up there, 3.53. So he came into the team near the end of the season due to an injury. Played attacking midfield and the right. He played once, got 7.8 by the way. He is a player who maybe should be given a little bit more time in that attack midfield role. Maybe in that attack midfield shadow striker role. He's performed well when he gets in there. And the pressures per 90 as well is something I like to see. Bjorgulfsson 3.41 as well. He is working hard. Where are our attacking midfielders? So what we should maybe do is look at the ones who I want to be pressuring well. When we are closing down. So K 1.6. Torresson a 1.81. And C is a 1.94. Sorry, pressure. Looking at the wrong one. 3.53. Torresson 2.8, 2.74 there. Fincher 1.62. Fincher's not pressuring anybody. I mean, he needs to be maybe told to step up a little bit in terms of the pressures. Okay. So tackles 1, completions ratio. So let's have a look. So Strumman in tackles, by the way, 100%. Fremstad 86%, very nice. Juan Pablo Martinez Figueroa, who is again one of the YouTube members, he is developing nicely, and he has an 87% tackles won ratio at the age of 18 in the league, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Selm at 80%, Trossen as well at 80% in defensive mid, Dahl as well, Bjorgulfsson, Schiel at 78%. Where is the German? Where is our German central defender? Where is he? Am I blind or am I just completely missing it? There he is. Tackles won ratio of only 70% for our German central defender, who is on a high wage. Again, could this be a player we look at moving on? If he's not doing the basic of his job, which is tackling people, might be a bit of an issue there. Tackles, what's his tackles per 90 minutes? 0.91, so he's not really tackling people. But you can see the people who have tackled a lot, 4.2, 3.31, 3.28. So our fullbacks are tackling a lot. Our defensive midfielders as well, again, stuck in. So Strummer, when he plays up front, 2.44. Where is Finchy? Finchy, 1.1. I feel like Finchy steps on the pitch and doesn't really do anything. Team goals conceded per 90. So this is when this person is on the pitch. 1.19, 1.36, 1.39. All the way up to when Janssen plays, we are conceding 1.96, 1.87 for Trosseth. Bjorgulfsson 1.78 seem a bit concerning, but maybe doesn't really mean anything. So key headers, who is doing well in the air, 25 key headers for the German, Figueroa 21, Dahl 17. So the German might not be tackling as much, but he is good in the air. Headers 1 per 90 minutes. Figueroa tops that. The German are 4.31, but Figueroa 4.78. What I see from the defensive side of these attributes is that Figueroa is really, really good for his age, and I think he does have a lot of potential. Crosses completed compared to crosses attempted, basically. So 100% for the German, 40% from Trosseth, Key at 30%, 25 for Janssens, 22 for C, 20 Martinez, Nordland at 18, which is fairly well because in his 16 games, most of them have been for left or right back. So he's done alright, considering he is someone I'm considering dropping down into our B team for a couple of years, see if he can develop a bit better. Chances created per 9 minutes, who is creating chances? Bjorgulfsson at 0.97, Key at 0.86, Torresson 0.6. Okay. Open player key passes. So 1.78 for Bjorgulfsson. Bjorgulfsson's looking... Again, this is a player who maybe hasn't featured enough through the season. Maybe we need to give more game time to. Femstad at 0.177. Do you know what? If we can find a replacement for Henriks, now I'm thinking Fremstad maybe is the backup next year as well. And maybe a new first choice right wing back. Now, I'm gotta say I'm impressed so far. Dribbles made per 90 then. Key at 2.95. 2.78 for Strumman. Fremstad at 2.43. Torresson 2.33. Your Goldson 1.87. Assists per 9 minutes. Who is getting the most assists? Look. Femstad again. Femstad again at 0.44. 0.44 for Terudson as well. Open play key passes. Who is picking out them passes? Torreson and C. So Torreson has been fantastic this season. He really has from the left wing. Gotta praise him. I can't praise him enough. Henriksen 2.9. Sorry, 29 is decent. And Torres at 25. Finch at 21. So assists for some reason. Nobody got assists then, did they? No. Team goals per 90 minutes. So when Seam plays, we score 2 goals a game. Janssen at 0.196. Sorry, 1.96. The only thing about Seam is in a couple of games he's come on when we're 2 or 3 ahead. So does that count? So in terms of points per game when these people are playing, 1.87 for Janssen, 1.5 for Henriksen. What is it for the other right back? Fremstad, it is 1.15. It's a lot lower. It is a lot lower. So XG shots, goals per shot, sorry. 0.23 for Seam, 0.18 for Finch, Neveson at 0.17, Janssen at 0.13. So Janssen actually has a worse than Finchy for shots compared to goals. Goals per 90 minutes, Seam at 0.79, 0.59 for Janssen, 0.4 for Finchy. Shots on target per 90 minutes. Björn Golson, Finchy's a 0.99. He has less than a shot a game on target. So maybe I need to adjust his roles. He's been playing that deep line forward. Maybe I'll get him more of a poacher, I think. Shots on target ratio, 67% for Trosseth, Femstad. So Seam there at 56% as a striker is decent. Finchy at 50%. I've got to be happy with that as well. What this shows me is, first off, Femstad performs a lot better than his attributes show him. His attributes don't show him as the world's best, and sometimes I overlook his attributes and I go off how I think someone's performing, and I'm almost getting backed up, and it shows he is a decent player. Henriksen is good, but it shows he's maybe not justifying his 2.3k a week. In terms of the rest of the team, I'm not seeing huge issues. I'm really not. The next thing I want to check is player details. So have a look. Do we have anyone who's doing fantastic, who is in any of these for goals expected, etc., etc. Someone who's maybe performing among the elite in the division. So in terms of goals, Finchy was 11th, so fair play to him there. In terms of expected goals, Finchy was expected 9.75, which is 10th, and he got 11. So he's done above his goals. So in terms of average minutes per goal, Janssen is 12th there, so he's done fairly well there. In terms of who's getting the most shots off, C gets a lot of shots away. I've never seen someone hit the crossbar as much as C does. 100%. That guy's bloody banging that crossbar constantly. In terms of assists, Torreson is up there. He is up there 9th. Joint 9th in the league. In terms of assists per 90 minutes, he's 14th best in the league as well. Key passes, C is 7th there. So fair play to him. For his age, 19, only person under 20. Fair play to him there. Defensively, so in terms of tackles won, Dahl is 12th with Henriksen 15th. So they are doing well there. Tackles won ratio, Figueroa is our best one there in 15th. It's so good to see. He's only 18. Although Birdeglim do have a 16-year-old who is up there. I mean, wow. Okay. I mean, how much is he valued? Oh, okay. He's valued at 6 million. We can't afford that. Move on. So in terms of key tackles, we have Shield is 15th there. But I'm wondering if Shield can maybe become first choice alongside Figueroa next season. I'm just wondering if the German has not performed how I'd hoped. With his tackles won ratio of 70%, I just think that's very, very bad, to be honest with you. In terms of then interceptions, our best person interception. Nobody got in the top 20 for interceptions, which is a bit concerning. In terms of blocks, Dahl is up there with the 10th best there. So Dahl has featured twice now. In terms of pressures attempted, C is 8th. So he is working really hard for the team, which shows me I've got to be happy with that. In terms of presses completed, though, we have no one inside the top 20 there. Goalkeeper-wise, how has he done compared to the rest? So 10th best in terms of conceded. Clean sheets, 7th. Saves held, 8th. Saves parried, so he parries the 6th most. Conceded per 90, he's 10th best. Team goals conceded, we're not interested in that. Expected saves per 90, he's 11th. And saves per 90, he's 12th. Okay, then penalties saved. Yeah, we've. So I think going into next season, I do think I would like to go back to this. I would like to go back to this tactic, and I'm thinking I would like to have Gil and Figueroa as my back two, is my first thought. Maybe Henriksen comes out, Dahl stays in. Neesund and Torres in defensive mid I would keep. C I would keep as well. I would definitely bring in Torres on the left wing. I think a very high quality right winger is needed. I think we need to change this role to something more of a poacher or something, just to get him a bit more for getting more shots during the games. But maybe a new right back, a new right winger. Maybe a bit more depth in general. So we're not relying on a lot of very, very young players. So for example, we have Hansen has come in from our youth team to play as our backup left back. Now he's okay, but maybe we can find some people who have a bit more depth. It is tough. It is difficult to come up with the best solution for how we can build whilst not worrying this screen. Because I'm not... The whole point of rebuilding a fallen giant is to properly rebuild them. Not take a risk that if... I want to look at that. If I stepped away from this club now, have I left the club in a position where they can run safely? And if I massively overspend and hope qualification from Europe comes, that's not the correct way to rebuild a team. It's just not. And that is why we are doing this safely and trying to not throw all of our eggs in the basket of spending. So I'm going to go away. I'm going to do the winter. We do have an intake incoming, which I did. I'm not sure. Will it show on? It doesn't show on here. Let me go here. See if... Yeah. So here is the preview for the intake. Central midfielders, A. Attacking midfielders, A. A goalkeeper we could do with. Wingers, if we get wingers, we can use them. Strikers, well, is always nice. Wing backs we need. There's potential there. There's potential coming through in the intake. I've been Paul, also known as Northman. I will see you in the next episode as we start our next season in the top flight, as we look to progress from this mid-table finish to maybe knocking on that door of European qualification.